Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Denim. As a business owner myself, I personally know the importance of financial stability and preserving cash flow to help navigate through any freight market. With Denim's comprehensive service offering, you now have an all-in-one financial partner whose platform includes factoring, payments, freight audit, document collection management, and analytics, which help keep your business financially healthy and increase your team's time to focus on revenue-producing activities. You can also take advantage of Denim's free credit check, which they perform on all of your customers. And Denim will proactively reach out to you if they spot any signs of credit deterioration. Finally, Denim always pays your carriers first. As a broker, this is imperative to preserving your credit score in the market, which ultimately helps you become a broker of choice to your carrier partners. Are you ready to learn more? Visit denim.com to schedule a demo today. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is a Freight Coach podcast, the top podcast in transportation, coming to you guys live from the NMFTA Cybersecurity Conference out here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I am joined today with a very special guest, Mr. Shawn Rasmor with TruckStop. He's a principal product manager out there. And we're here to riff, you guys. We're here to kind of talk about a lot of what's going on. But Shawn, what kind of brought you into the industry, man? How'd you get your start in transportation?
A great question, actually. So I've been with TruckStop for a little over 8 years. Prior to that, I was with Hewlett-Packard for almost 18 years. And working there, doing a lot of different things. Coming out of college, I have a major in computer science and fine arts. I thought about things differently, process improvements and everything else. I was at, like I said, HP, doing a lot of things there. And I had a colleague who had left and went to TruckStop. And I was wondering, why did you go to work at a truck stop? And I learned, though, she's like, I need your help working at the small company. They've been around at that time, around 20 some years. I said they're doing great things, helping the industry, helping carriers and brokers do things better. And finding a better way was a mantra. And it's like, I need your help. It's like, my wife's not going to let me leave TruckStop or HP to go to work at this small company. She's like, no, they're doing important things. Learned about that and joined TruckStop. And that was my first entrance into the industry. And it was funny. I talked to my dad, and I was like, my dad won't let me leave this great company of HP. And he's like, trucks are always moving. They're always going to need trucks.
Yes.
He's like, it's a good choice. And so it definitely gone through a lot with TruckStop in their investment in processes and technology, and take what I learned at a very large enterprise, working with large enterprise customers, to help take those advancements into what we're doing with TruckStop. And then so that's what brought me over to TruckStop, and it was a life-changing event for me.
Yeah, it's your dad was right. Trucks are always moving, and that's like, if there's any, I don't want to say that trucking's recession proof or anything like that, but I always say this, man, if the trucks stop moving, we're all screwed as a society. Yeah. So like, ultimately that's as much job security as I ever would want out there. But, I think like because I've personally been in the industry for about 15 years now, and back in my day, we sent rate cons via fax,
Yep.
but now it's like where we are today. I mean, and then especially like where we are as an industry right now with identity theft and everything kind of at an all-time high. And I've seen you guys have been posting out content here recently about all of the accounts that you guys have actually stopped from being members of TruckStop, or even from being able to sign up with TruckStop's platform. So how are you guys, like, was there a singular event from your perspective where you're like, hey, this is going to be real and it's going to be big and we got to start working on this now?
So TruckStop hasn't been sitting still, and there's always been things behind the scenes, been around for almost 30 years now. It started in 1995. And in 2003, and a lot of the things were there to help protect the owner operators, small truck driver, providing them with solutions. And they learned, oh, there's more that needs to be done. 2003, they invested in an assurance department, security around the marketplace. And so it's been there. They have systems for identifying bad actors, the chameleons that are out there that disappear, come back. So that's always been there. And then continuing to invest in the technology on top of the people and the processes. So it's not a singular event. It's been in the environment, in the industry for decades. It's evolved though. So that's what we've seen recently. The patterns are changing. That's when I joined, part of with TruckStop was this industry needs digitalization. It's one of the last industries out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bad actors got there first, but we weren't waiting for the bad actors to get there. We were working on digitalization, but now with our investments, how do we help protect the processes? You mentioned we've kept the bad actors out of the systems. We're always there. We have a tenacity around what needs to be done, learning from the customers' events, working with local and federal law enforcements, and then using that to help harden systems and help our customers harden their own systems. So we saw things, and it's evolved over the years. When in end of 2022, we all seen the metrics out there, it looked different.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I liken it to COVID. Like, oh, it's just a flu.
Yeah.
But it's different, and things are looking different. And then towards the end of 2022, we noticed, especially on our compliance and carrier management side, we needed to do things differently. What was a space that our customers, the brokerage side, required to be frictionless, and the carriers wanted to be easy, those are things that bad actors exploit. So we had to start tightening and harden. 2023 came January 4th. I introduced the first one of our critical security features, rolled out 15 more over 5 months. So continuous investment, keep learning. We have teams I'm part of when there are incidents. We're going to go and work with our customers, understand that, and then what do we need to do to build into the process. So no singular event, it's patterns that have evolved.
So, I mean, so speaking of patterns, like, I look at this industry as, because it's like 95% of small business, right?
Yeah.
And you brought up like, protecting your guys as users. So it's like, how are you guys working with your guys' customers on like, hey, you're a one truck operation, or, you're a 2-person freight brokerage that are out there. These are some of the steps that we think you guys should be adopting inside of your organization to help kind of protect your identity, to protect your information and all of that stuff. Because I think like the more and more digital we all become as a society, and then especially with advancements in AI and everything else that's going on out there, I think it's only a matter of time before it's going to be affecting. I mean, it already affects all of us, right? We're already all exposed out there, with our information and stuff. So like, how do you guys as a larger organization work with your customers who might not have the tech capabilities or understanding to protect their identity?
Now, great question. So there's different things we do now in our systems. You'd mentioned the people that we've kicked out and evolved. We've added security provisions, so multi-factor authentication, having that in place, requiring it to participate. And we don't allow you to use email for your multi-factor. You can use SMS, you can use biometrics like Face ID or an app-based authenticator, because emails get compromised. You click on that phishing email, someone gets access to your account. And that's one of the things we've seen. So there are so many of the owner operators out there. we're putting protections in place in our systems, then helping educate through, we do reach outs, we send out messages, but partnering with those who they work with, like OIDA.
Yeah.
So we work with the Owner Operator Independent Driver Association and helping them help their people, their members, and others, and getting the information out. I talked with a customer who didn't like the MFA. He's like, I hate this. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, part of it is like understanding what did he not like, and then when he understood how to use it and some of the IT issues that he was running into, like this, and I gave him my card. Call me if you have a problem. I'm going to help you out. He's like, well, why do I need to go through all these? You don't have access to my bank accounts and anything else. Like, it's your identity.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is impersonate you, use you, your livelihood, your name to commit a crime.
Yeah.
And so helping them, educating those out there, like this is what is going on. A latest trend right now, because bad actors know what everyone looks for.
Yes.
And they're excellent at hiding. Right now they've been using economic instability to go and attack things, but using this information, like here's what you need to do. If people are offering you money, in one instance, someone has offered not that much money for their information that was used to exploit them, gain access to their banking systems and take over their identity. So all these entry points in there. So trying to get the word out, things like your podcast and other ways of helping them learn that this is something you may think, it's cargo theft and yes, it's a problem. Like, no, it is your livelihood and it is your identity that's out there, can be used for multiple different crimes.
So how does a company stop the association with, your business identity and your personal identity, right? Because I look at it as, when I first started my company, I think I probably used a Gmail address to register my business license, right? Or, I can only imagine, because like that's one thing out there from a carrier standpoint, a small business standpoint, brokerage or carriers, excuse me, they use that first abctrucking@gmail.com to register with the FMCSA, banking information, all of that stuff. So how do you, like, what can somebody do to maybe, think about this stuff from day one, right? Because as somebody who's been self-employed now for the last 4 years, trust me, the last thing on my mind is this when I have no revenue coming in, right? Like my first thing is I need revenue, I need this. But this is also, the more and more I talk about this stuff, the more and more I realize like they're looking for those easy access points from day one. So like, what advice do you have out there for people from that perspective?
Well, one key thing with the FMCSA, because that is your business identity out there, even if it's your personal, your one truck operation, you need to be aware of your identity. Google yourself to see what's out there. It is surprising and scary on what else out there. With the FMCSA, check, has it been updated? Because and we've worked with the FMCSA, if you've probably seen they're changing their registration processes, adding MFA into their processes as well. Because you talk about fax, they used to allow you to fax in or mail in a contact change. Bad actors would use that as a way to change your email in their system. Gmail, I understand it is sometimes cost prohibitive to register your own domain to get an email, and you have the Gmail, and there's Gmail, Yahoos are out there. Bad actors will go and create one with a slight change of a one or something in that, or they will register a domain with yours because they say there isn't one. They're tenacious. They're scanning all these things. It's the top thing is just understand your identity, understand your exposure, own it, manage it, be on top of that. There's changes. You've seen that something's been compromised, or you were the victim of a phishing scheme. Notify your partners, the vendors out there. TruckStop has security@truckstop.com. Send us a message so we can let others know. We have a bulletin of compromised identities because we want to protect you. We want to help you and help the industry with this. So you just need to be aware. You need to own it. It is part of your business, and it's when your business is your life and all your family's information's out there. It is critical. You need to secure that as much as you do anything else.
So how are you guys, speaking about that, you know, how are you guys as an organization protecting your users' identities, right? Because you know, you think about that with the, you know, advancements and integrations and everything that's going on out there. How do you, you know, I guess this is a two-part question here. How do you protect Chris Jolly as a user of TruckStop? And then also, how are you guys vetting your integration partners to make sure none of that data gets kind of transferred through from an exposure perspective?
Yeah, no, great question. So I'll talk about people, processes, platforms, policies, and technology around that. We invest heavily on our side around that, and then working with others. We're constantly evaluating. Bad actors are using AI. We hear about that out there. We're using AI as well to be able to help detect anomalies, and that could be the first exposure that the fin in the water is a shark, not a dolphin. And we start to go a little, you need to go below the water. And that's what we do in investigation. And then if it is a carrier, broker, whoever, one of our customers, we're going to notify them, work with them on that. We take down the information, use that to have a repeatable process of detection, and then notifying any other potential impacted parties. So there's things that we're just continuously going and monitoring. And then with that, building technologies so that our customers can continuously monitor and protect. From an integration standpoint, we have monitoring around everything there. We have a full information security department and technology department continuously looking at all the surface areas. And people is number one for the surface area of risk. And so working through that, and we have training of our people and talking to our customers and educating them on the things that you need to be doing. So it's every single touch point is a risk point, and shoring that up. But it is through final P on all that is a partnership. It's like partnering together. We need to work together and help educate each other, protect each other when we're made aware, notifying others for risk exposure improvements. But yeah, you talk about integrations and the data is around. There's a lot of this. It requires all of us to be extra vigilant. Every single party, whether you have one truck or you have 250 trucks or you're a large enterprise company, we all need to be working together.
No, I agree with that. And I also think that, you know, at least from my perspective is, you know, like it's a lot more, anybody could sit down here and listen to this and think, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. But I don't think it's as complex as a lot of people think, because I think like phishing emails are still like I wouldn't say the number one. Maybe you have more information on that than I do, but like phishing emails are still like the most prevalent way that people can get access to your stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they almost haven't gravitated away from that because people still fall for it at an alarmingly high rate.
Yeah, no, and the lures. And so we just released a blog on around the Halloween theme. I had the angler fish.
Yeah.
And it's the lures out there. And one of the things, if you're on a load board or you see a load and the rate just looks really good. And it's interesting when you're inside your office walls, the things that would protect you when you're walking down the street that, okay, you're a scammer, you're going to rip me off. I don't trust you. But when you're in front of a computer, your guard is let down a little more. It's like, okay, this is not a fair market rate. They seem anxious. This doesn't seem sketchy. The email, I see something coming through. They are bad actors are really sophisticated. And now with AI, you can use that to be a lot better with the English and everything else. And it's you say, write this email and it'll write something, looks great. And with this logo, it pause. So my suggestion for anybody, it's like, take a breath, take a pause, do a check. There's standard things with information security and practicing yourself with practicing best practices of where is this coming from? Look at the email. Is the path of this the domain that I'm expecting? If it's from TruckStop or somewhere else, we won't ask you for your security information. We won't ask you for, like, first thing is this information that they need? Is this coming from someone I trust? So if they're asking for something that doesn't seem right, go to the website. So go to truckstop.com, look at our phone number, call us and say, I got this email, or message us like, yeah, no, we didn't send that. That's a phishing email. And even from a broker sends you, here's this great load, and I saw that you're looking for this, and okay, did it really come from them?
Yeah.
Because you click on that, they can get access to your system and take over your identity. So it's just everyone now needs to be extra cautious, not to the point where you're paralyzed, but you just need to be more open-eyed.
Yeah. So, I mean, how are you guys, as you know, because you brought up, people, because I think that's one thing that's out there right now a lot is, it'll be an email, a phishing email from you guys or another company that says, hey, we need you to go in there and access that. What are some of those signs that you guys have seen where you're like, hey, you need to call us if this happens, right?
So we're seeing anything that is directing you to go log in or access something externally. You need to verify the authenticity of that message, because that's what they're using, especially with MFA out there right now. Now there's a lock on there, so they're trying to figure out. They want you to help them in. They're going to direct you to a place to sign in, where they're going to capture your credentials, or with some of the MFA, capture the code that they need, and it's going to look really, really good. We won't, and I don't think any legitimate business out there is going to direct you to a place to go log in. And you get these from your bank and everything else. You just stop, look, and you can't trust an email that looks completely legitimate. Look at the URL.
Yeah.
You just mouse over where this is coming from. Is this where I'm expecting it? Pause and just take a minute, call or check the site. Do a Google search of phishing with this, and we post things out there, and others will post. Yeah, this is something that's not legitimate. It's a scary world out there.
Yeah.
And it may appear like you're walking down a dark alley, and I have no clue what to do. I can't navigate this. Like, open your eyes. You'll see more of what these signals that they're hiding, the masking of the bad actors.
Because I think like what gets some people, and this is just me thinking like an individual here, is, the amount of, you need to reset your password, right? Like that's a very common thing. And platforms, I'm not saying you guys in particular, but like platforms will send those out periodically. Like I know Microsoft Office is like, hey, it's coming up on, you should probably go in there and change your password and stuff like that. So it's like, how are you guys as an organization making it to where it's like you're almost legitimizing your guys' process to show like this is an actual are you guys sending out like a pre-notification like, hey, this is what's going to happen, obviously without divulging too much information that somebody could possibly use against you, but are you guys attacking it to where it's like, hey, this is legit, this is what we're going to do? Maybe is it leveraging a social media now, like, hey guys, we're going to send this out? Or like, how do you guys make it to where your users feel confident that when they're receiving one of those style notifications that they know it's real?
Well, a lot of the policies are going to be based upon like an anniversary thing. So there's not some mass campaign.
Yeah.
When there have been incidents where they may require a secondary system, not outside of us, knowing that people reuse their passwords, gets hacked. We'll notify, hey, we're going to be going through and expiring your passwords. You're going to need to go and log in. And when we do provide guidance, it's access our site. Go to our URL. Don't go through an email. We're never going to send you somewhere through that. It's like, no, you log into our site, a trusted, verified site, and change your password there. Don't follow through an email. We're trying really hard to help. So we know, especially the owner operators out there, they're trying to get point A to point B to get home with their family. It is difficult. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them. We have teams that'll help work with them on this, but it's just advice is the system of origin. Use the applications that you trust. Go and do the actions there. If you get an email saying, hey, change your password, don't access through the email. Log into the site directly. Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best piece of advice you can give out there is if there's ever an email that says change your password, click here, don't ever click on that one because, again, whether it's a bank or anything else, more times than not, you'll receive a notification to change your password, but go to the website, you have to log in, or the app, or whatever that looks like. And I think again, one of the best things out there is any emails, don't click the links. Right? Like, unless it's coming from your wife or a spouse and whatever, but I think that's the phishing, why it's going to continue at its level is because it is so effective, because so many people are so in their day-to-day that they just click on that. And then maybe it's, you guys could go out there and entitle your emails, don't click link,
Well, there are things we will highlight on there, but something else for people to be aware of, the bad actors attack the moments of, I'll say, weakness, but it's more distraction in the day. So our security and assurance team calls it Fraud Friday. Fridays before a holiday. These things that you don't think about it. They're playing on the psychology of this, where you want to get home. You're thinking about the weekend, what you're going to be doing, where you're going for that holiday, so that your guard's down a little bit. So be extra conscious of those periods of exposure. But we're trying to work really hard. We're passionate about the industry, passionate about not just our customers, but just the carriers out there, the brokers, everyone. Even if you're not a customer, we want to make this a better place, and it's critical for the country.
I think that would be even from a content perspective, or something that you guys could put out there, is kind of talking about those fraud patterns that are out there. Like, hey, we've noticed this from a data perspective, and I don't know if it's a webinar or utilizing Brent's podcast now, and kind of structuring it around that to kind of get that information out there, right? Because again, I literally didn't even think about that until you just said it right there. Friday before a holiday, how much of that comes out like that, and it's out of sight, out of mind. Do it quick. I want to go home for the weekend and stuff. So I think it's those tips that I think is what saves more people than not, right? It might not be a massive campaign, but it's going to be hearing that right there, that it's going to make people double check now. Whoever listens to this podcast, whether they're watching it live or listening to it on the replay, they're going to hear that. And because we got Thanksgiving coming up here, they're going to be on the lookout for that on Wednesday afternoon now, before the Thanksgiving break. Is there anything coming through about changing my information somewhere?
No, and that's a great idea. And I'll talk to the folks.
She's right there.
She's right there. Yeah. So she's taking notes of it. So I think that's great. And we're building our habits. We talk about just as a baby walking.
Yeah.
You're going to fall. There's these things, but you just have to keep doing it over and over again. Our security department sends us trick emails all the time.
Yeah.
They're very good. And they'll hit you when you're busy, trying to get you to click on this thing. And but it is practice in real life. There's these things you just need to always be saying to yourself. I talk to folks and okay, think about whether you're offering a load to somebody, and is it too good to be true? Would you trust your mother or your grandmother's money to hand it over to this person? If not, those little indicators, the hair on the back of your neck, what is that? Pause, take a couple of minutes to verify. It's not worth it. And emails and everything else, just they take a little bit more time, and we have no time anymore, but you need to spend a little more.
I mean, but that's the thing is I look at it now, at least, from my perspective as a small business owner, one thing that I've realized over these past couple of years is nothing is as urgent as we think in our head. And I think that when it comes down to any of your company's information, changing, updating anything, I would almost save that for if you get it today's Monday, if you get one on a Monday, save it for your first task on a Tuesday morning. Don't think that you have to do it right away, and then it is that too good to be true mentality that's out there when it comes down to double brokering and freight rates, and especially in a market like we're in right now. And I know you're not necessarily involved in it, but that rates are bottom right now, right? So it's like if there's one that's coming in that's exponentially higher, that's outside of that pattern, maybe pick up the phone and call them. And if they're email only, walk away from that situation, because more times than not, if it is too good to be true, it is. And then from a broker's perspective as well, if you're trying to cover a load and somebody comes in and say you have it posted for $2,000 and they call you and they're like, hey man, I'll do it for $1,800, run. You're not that good. Run away from that one.
And they're asking you about the commodity, and from the brokerage side, know the market, know your freight, what is targeted right now. Look at there's industry messages out there. And so, and just one thing I'll touch on as well, and we're talking about the business and livelihood. There was a scenario where they sold their authority. That information was used by the bad actor to open a loan. They approached the bad actor. The bad actor came back and said, you're not going to do anything about this, and listed off their family members.
Oh, wow.
So it's organized crime.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And so it's your family. So I'm not trying to scare people, but I'm trying to scare people. You need to be aware of what is going on. These are criminals that are out there. Correct. And they're looking to get money any way they can. And this is an entry point into it. Don't be that entry point. You need to just learn. And ignorance, not through fault, but through lack of education. And it is like, you just need to learn about, here's the things to be thinking about. And it's only paralyzing if you're not ready.
Yeah.
So if you're ready for this, it's like in sports or anything else, being able to predict and react, it's critical. And that only happens through learning and doing.
No, I agree. I appreciate your time. And it's like, this is why I love this conference so much, because I am so much into freight that, you know, you don't think about this until you're here. But, you know, as a user of TruckStop myself, and I know a bunch of people out there are, if I'm finding myself in this situation, how do I reach out to you guys? Maybe not you in particular, but like, how do I reach out to find out more? Maybe there's something that I just need to report. Hey, I just saw this.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should be made aware.
You know, like mentioned, we have security@truckstop.com. If you are involved in an incident or you're aware of an incident, your identity has been impacted, you can reach out to them. We have emails on our website, truckstop.com, where you can reach out to folks. And I'm more than happy to talk to people. And I talk to many non-customers, like, hey, I just want to help you.
Yeah.
And talk to me about, what are you seeing? What do you need? We'd love it if you be a customer, but I want you to be successful, and I want this industry to be successful. So we have a lot of different ways of reaching out, and I'm happy to talk to anybody. And my information's out there. So
Perfect.
Yeah, just reach out. We are extremely passionate about the people behind the wheel, people behind the computer, the industry that we all serve.
Perfect. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And that's going to be it for today, you guys. We will be back tomorrow. Again, we'll be at day 2 here at the NMFTA Cybersecurity Conference. As always, if you guys got value in what you heard, which I know you did, and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.